It's Megan again for Rocky Mountain Sewing and Vacuum. Today we're going to be talking about yet another Janome app, which is the Embroidery-Link App. Out of all of the apps that Janome has made to work with their sewing and embroidery machines that are Wi-Fi capable, such as the beautiful Continental M17 right here, the Janome Skyline S9, or the MemoryCraft 15000, the Embroidery-Link one is going to be the one that is my favorite. Now, the Embroidery-Link was made specifically with the Janome Continental M17 in mind because it talks beautifully with it. With the other one, there used to be another app, but for now, we're just going to talk about it with the Continental M17. So, on this, of course, all of these apps are absolutely free and they kind of work in tandem with one another, but Embroidery-Link is the one where you can do a lot of really cool things. So when you open the app, immediately, the first time you open it, it's going to ask what machine and look for your Continental M17. From here, you can tell it what hoop you're planning on using, which right now I do have the RE20D ready to go for a project that I have in mind. So I already have that, but it also gives you all the other options of hoops you can do. So I'm going to go to my designs. Now, it always gives you these little things that remind you what all of these screens are. A lot of times at the store, we keep it up so that when you come in and see it happen, you'll see this nice little reminder. You don't have to turn it off, but if you do, you can hit that don't show again. I'm not going to for now. And then you can see what designs have been saved on here before. If I go to my menu, I can go to my Continental M17, and you're going to see a couple different things pop up. For example, there's ready to sew, which I have nothing ready to sew, so it says no preview, because there's nothing there. There's also the built-in drive, so it will show me a couple of the things that we have saved to the machine, including kind of a dorky thing that we Aurora ladies did when we were training. There's also the order file, which we don't have anything saved into, but it will also do built-in samples, which are all of the designs that are built into your machine. So it's going to think about it, and then it will show me literally all of the hundreds of embroidery designs, monograms, quilting designs, buttonholes, stitches, tiny designs, everything that comes with your machine, I can pull up on the tablet and edit here. So, for example, here's this pretty little flower. I can play with that. But something that I am really privy to doing is that I love OESD's designs. An example, they have one that is coming out in November that's all about holiday llamas, which I think are really cute. And I was thinking on the bottom of this towel, it'd be really cute to do that border. But I wanted to play with it because why not? I have the stuff that we can do. So I'm going ahead, and although I'm going to use probably this one for the actual border of the towel, I kind of want to play with the Fa La La Llama that's on there because I can turn this into something else if I want to. Once again, another little screen that shows us things that we're looking at, and it pulls it up and shows me what that design is going to look like in my hoop. Now here's where it gets fun. On the top of the screen, you can see I can actually pull things around where I accidentally took away that. And there's this little like clothesline up here. So I can scroll through the image, and if there's a star that I don't want anymore, I can get rid of it. If there's this piece that I want to move somewhere, I can do that. If I want to change all of these random pieces and parts into a specific color, I can also do that. So it's almost like having embroidery software on something portable, easy to carry, perfect for you to use when you're sitting around waiting for the bus or waiting for your doctor's appointment or sitting and watching the game or recovering from your food coma during Thanksgiving. Any of that kind of stuff, these apps are awesome for you to play with so that you can immediately go home and send it to your Janome M17 and have a lot of fun. So here's a couple ways that I have played with it in the past. In this first section is different select buttons. I really like the lasso button here. So with the lasso button, I can draw all around the word llama, and I can resize it. If I tap on the arrow, I can also rotate it. So maybe instead of it being oriented one way, I want to orient it the other way. But usually, if I orient it, it's going to be too wide for this hoop. Not if I do this. So I'm going to do that, and then you also can go, uh-oh, I messed up, and go back. So right now I'm going to move things out of the hoop. I can take the law. I just want the law. Whoops. There we go. And I can rotate it. I can take this chunk here, rotate it. So you can see how easy it is for me to select a specific part, rotate it. Oops, I missed a part. Go back if I goof up, rotate it, drag and drop it. So now I have a design that, although OESD did a lot of the work for me, I can actually customize to be what I want it to do. So if I wanted to put it on a t-shirt or on the tea towel long ways like I was planning to, now I have completely changed that design to be my own. When I'm ready to do that, there's a couple different things I can do, not to mention I forgot some of the fun buttons. Let's talk about those really fast. On the bottom here, I can select specific things and go, okay, you know, maybe I don't quite like all of these llamas being pink. I can go in here and they have a full color chart of different colors that you can choose. Once again, the machine doesn't really care what color you put in the machine, but sometimes it's good for visual. Say your project is very much not aqua, bright green, and pink. You can change it to the colors that match your project so you can decide if you like that or not. I can also change just that light bulb there. You can see me tapping just randomly on here and it shows me on the clothesline where that piece of the design is. The next button is a cut button. So if I don't know why I would, but if I wanted to take this A and cut it into two parts, you can see up here that it cut it into two parts. If you go, oops, didn't mean to do that, you can, of course, do that as well. But it's a good way to kind of make things multicolor if you want, or tweak if you have a jump stitch somewhere randomly that you don't really want. It's a good way to tweak that. Of course, the color palette shows you a little bit better, and it's got different brands of colors too, which is really nice. The text button also has a ton of different fonts for you to choose from. So you've got all the fonts on your machine available at your fingertips here. Sometimes typing on the machine feels very awkward, but typing on the tablet, most of us do that all the time when we're texting our friends or family or, you know, posting onto social media, making a comment on YouTube. So we're used to typing on these devices, so it sometimes speeds up the process a little bit. Plus, I have all of the editing functions on there, including sizing, rotating, all of that. I can also, if I wanted to be very crazy, play with the layers of this design and duplicate it. So if, for example, I wanted to do Fa La 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 Llama on a whole bunch of pillows and do it one for every single one of my family, I could duplicate it enough to do that. I can also talk about the hoop and have a grid to see exactly where it's going to fall in place, because if you're not perfect at placement like me, this is one way to get around it. We're also going to be talking about the AccuSetter AccuSetter app. We will be doing a video on that app as well. But with that helps with perfect placement as well, and it goes seamlessly with this app. Anyways, besides the point, one last thing that I really like about this too is that this last button here, if I press play, it is going to show me exactly how it's going to stitch, and I can bring the speed all the way up to 5,000 stitches per minute if I'm a little bit impatient and want to see how it's going to stitch and make sure any of the edits that I did didn't make things act funky. So I'm going to pause that, go back to the edit screen, anywhere on here, and then when I'm ready, I can save it. So I can save it to my M17, or I can save it to my device, so like we have an iPad. So I can save it, ready to sew, any of that stuff. So I'm going to just save it. I guess it's going to end up saving on my USB drive, that's fine. But then when I'm ready to go sewing to machine, once I find where I saved it, I can send it straight to the machine. I believe I saved it to the machine, I just need to find where. I think I did. Built-in drive? Nope. Bear with me just a second. Sometimes I'm really bad at remembering where I saved. All right, well, I know that it saved it somewhere. And I'm a big dork who forgot where it was, but that's okay. When I am ready, oh, there it is. I just had to get completely out of it. So if I do that, I can then press the button here, send to machine. It's going to say ready to sew. I can send it. It asks, do I want to stop the design that it's doing? As you can see, it's not doing anything, so I hit send. It's It's going to think about it for a second. I'm going to press OK. And look at that. It's already on the screen ready for me to stitch. So, along with that, when you look at the screen now, it's going to do sewing preparation complete, and when I start stitching, it will actually be like a baby monitor, and it will tell me if a thread breaks, if it's time to switch to the next color, any of that. All of that is built into this one app. So with the Embroidery-Link app that is available for your smartphone or tablet, for the Janome Continental M17, you can edit designs, you can rotate designs, you can create text with designs, you can send them straight to the machine, it can monitor and tell you when it's time to change your thread or your bobbin. It is just an all-in-one, super inclusive app. It doesn't necessarily replace embroidery software, but it does do a lot of the functions of embroidery software. If this is a feature that you've been looking for on your sewing and embroidery machine at home, I highly recommend the Janome Continental M17 and the Embroidery-Link app. It is so easy to use, and as always, we're always happy to talk you through it in the store here too. If you have any questions, you know the drill. Give us a call, come into the store, leave a comment below, and thank you again for joining me.